Welcome to TradeTheMBI.com. This is John. This report is for the 10th, and well, we can see that we've got exactly what we expected, which was a continuation. But look at this bar from the other day. Boom, all the way down. Cleared out all the people's stops and everything. It was a beautiful move, all done pre-market, just in futures. And this was what was ridiculous about it. And we talked about the opportunities of buying the dip simply because, and I talked about this on the Skype chat too, that, whether people realize it or not, Donald Trump, even in his election, he still used a former partner of Goldman Sachs to handle the finance part of his campaign. So the market's not completely unrepresented in all things. They're not stupid. They always play both sides of everything. But they use that fear as a great opportunity to take advantage. And I told everybody on the Skype chat, if you see weakness, that it was an opportunity to buy. A lot of new interesting things happen now with the construct that's going. We're going to go from a low growth, no growth policies to aggressive, fast growth, which definitely is going to mean more inflationary. So that would mean that it'd be time to start thinking about moving your interest rate bearing debt into fixed situations. Prepare to look at other options as far as gold and some of the commodities are certainly going to behave better. Maybe not right at this minute, but certainly is going to be a longer term effect now. We had the nice dip here of the steel below magenta. With our orange coming down from below. We already had the buy signal of the midterm buyers crossing above long-term buyers right there, which was the number 2 buy. And of course, from our standpoint, clicked that one too many times. There we go. The ABM was definitely a buy at the 21-21 range. Anything above that was certainly clear to go. And even if you waited on that for the crazy dip or whatever, was fine. I bought at the bottom because I was prepared to attack that. So you saw those images from the other day. Here we have the NQ forming slightly brighter. It's going to be interesting. Some of the internet companies fare, they were strong HRC supporters that could have some repercussions. Antitrust issues, Google's already faced a lot of that. Amazon, you can expect them to be under assault. So some of those individual ones you might have to be a little wary of. And look at that Dow, nice return all the way back up to the highs right there. It's going to catch a little resistance. We've got a little overbought within that move. Might need to see some consolidation in there, but overall, you can see the ridiculous reaction from the euro was always fun. But once panic and everything goes away, now look at this, is totally expected. Bonds now. Interesting thing is we're going to likely see an interesting conflict with the Fed and its relationship with new policies, because the low growth, slow growth is probably going to fade pretty quickly, given an all Republican agenda and Trump's desire for rapid growth versus this slow meandering that's pretty much kept things flat for the most part, which from a model standpoint sounds good, but it has led to a lot of economic disparities amongst those in the equity markets versus average people who really aren't that involved with it. Oil is going to have a tough run. I mean, the reality is when you're talking about unleashing U.S. capabilities, that's going to put pressure on oil on a regular basis. However, that can be eclipsed by economic growth, so there's going to be double factors there. I think weakness in gold is going to be good to look for opportunities there, because you're going to definitely see commodities rising. Not this year, it's going to take until next year, and then particularly if any of the policies are enacted that's going to stimulate growth, certainly will have an impact at that point. If we look, we got to squeeze down our chart here because there's a lot of activity, and in order to get it all in there, I mean, this shows you how much there was within one day. I mean, look at how tiny I have to shrink that just to fit it on the screen. Otherwise, we'd jump out of the screen. That was the dip, bought down there. And then if you look at the 21-20 range, which was right in this point right here where we had the tiny little dip, and I was saying a good opportunity to buy that. Reflects, you can't even see that. We still have to expand even further. right here is right where it dipped at. I had closed out several other positions and then reconstituted right at that level. Stop in there just below the lows. So a little bit lower than the 21 level, just because we could see the buys developing as we dipped. That was back on this previous one over here, and then we came up and had a secondary move. Had a little weakness going at the end of the day, but that's turned around as the shakeout smoothed out pretty quick, and we ended up with several dips for buys. Could definitely add on a little bit overbought right within this, but it's already filled that back in for the most part. If we look at the daily, we had a rolling hawk. So it's interesting. We had the blind hawk, which suffered under the election thing as a tough one just because of the build up to that. Then the rolling hawk came in, took its profits on that one. Then we had the crazy election dip. And that's all fine. I mean, I think that we've talked about various plays that exist within the market that provide lots of opportunities to take advantage of where things are going to go. I've said from day one that if you experience the dip, though, that the market bias going into the end of the year was positive and not to be freaked out, because the reality is a lot of those articles are designed to scare weekends. There's a lot of money on the sidelines, and the further this market goes up, the further they're going to be pressed as the year goes in to catch the S&P return, which is only going to fuel things. So keep that in mind and trade well, because we've been spot on with all of this. We'll talk on the Skype chat. Trade well.